Hi. I'd like to take a few minutes today to give you a little bit of different spin, almost a teaser for the current project that's ongoing. Now, I encourage everyone out there, if you're following and watching these videos, to go to jharoldkellystories.com. There's a synopsis of all the books to include the current effort, which is entitled Tremaine, a Lakota warrior in Roosevelt's Rough Riders. So that should tell you where we're going with the story. But to give you a little bit of background on how we got there, originally the book was going to be out prior to the summer, like May. I went back and took a very serious look at how it was structured and some of the detail that was being included into the book, and felt I could do more. I could write it a different way, make it a lot more interesting for you, the readers. So that's what I've done. And right now, the mark on the wall is for the end of the summer to have Tremaine released. And it'll be through its editorial process and hopefully a truly Class A product. The Sacred Lands, the previous book, is out there now. It was an award winner, and it's done well. And I've gotten a lot of great reviews based on how I structured that book and the information that's in it. So to give you a little bit of background, Tremaine is a novel that takes place after the Great Sioux War, which was in the 1870s. So we're talking 1880s and beyond. Just by the title, Roosevelt's Rough Riders, you can see where we're going with this. It stays in the lane of I'm a soldier first and always. It's probably in the middle of the series pack. I've done a previous video that talked about my walking in Normandy. There's books about World War II that will come later. So it's all part of the same series, but let's deal with Tremaine. How he got to where he is today. There were two friends in these Sacred Lands. If you're familiar with the book, or if you're not, get it. The two friends are one cavalryman's son and a Lakota warrior's son who befriend each other. Now, I won't belabor the fact that they grow to manhood. They each take different paths. The son becomes a cavalryman in the West. The young Lakota lad becomes a Lakota warrior, well thought of, and is in a number of engagements during the Great Sioux War. Of course, the cavalry is in pursuit, and that they bump up against each other from time to time, never seeing each other one-on-one on the battlefield. But the warrior, Shadowhawk, begins to question life on the reservation. Should the impossibility of gaining victory over the U.S. Army and driving everybody out of the Western lands like it used to be is hopeless. He sees life on the reservation as something that he does not desire for his son. And at a certain point, he asks his friend, the cavalryman, to take his son on and raise him because the Indian will no longer be here. Having said that, he is so enamored with the name for his friend that he takes Joshua Tremaine Mackenzie's name and names his son Tremaine Running Deer. And Mackenzie adds the Mackenzie name once the little boy comes to live with him. So it's about his raising and his ability to deal with both cultures. He is continually going back and forth to visit his people, his grandfather, Lone Elk, at the reservation. But he lives with the Mackenzie, and he's grown up in the white world. It changes him. It gives him a different perspective. He has a different attitude when things happen throughout his life. Things like Wounded Knee takes place. The movement of all the children to Indian schools, those kinds of things, and how the family and Tremaine deal with it themselves. Of course, he becomes very, very adept as a guide and a tracker for the Army, and is well thought of when he finally meets Roosevelt. He was recruited into the Rough Riders, and then his future from that point on. And I'll leave it to you to read the story when it finally comes out, but I look forward to having that thing completed by the end of the summer, and I hope it was just enough material to you that you can internalize and get a pretty good appreciation and an interest in Tremaine when it finally hits the street at the end of the summer. Talk to you later.